as you can see, these very old Triang models aren't entirely happy on the Hornby Dublo track because they have very coarse wheel standards, but they do run and they do most of the time stay on the rails, and it's quite interesting to have them running again. I don't unfortunately have the room to have both a 3-rail and a 2-rail layout. Anyway, I'll put some more stock on here and we can have a look at other ones. Now for some double heading. Here are a couple of English Electric Type 1 locomotives, later British Rail Class 20, and the challenge here of course is to get them to run in this formation, which is with the front of the locomotives facing each other, and which is how you normally see them prototypically. And the way to do this, if you don't have a DCC layout, is simply to reverse the magnet so that the north and south poles are the other way round, which means that one motor will turn one way and one motor will turn the other. Now here we have a castle class locomotive. It's a Hornby Dublo model, painted in the experimental British Railways blue livery. I always feel it goes particularly well with the carmine and cream coaches. Now, several people have asked me, how do I do the conversion from 2-rail to 3-rail? And the answer is it depends what you're starting with. In the case of 2-rail Hornby Dublo models, the later ones of which were made by Wrenn, then what I do is, if it's a tender locomotive and it's got the right holes in the tender, I simply put these two current pickup plunger pickups on here, and looking at the pickups here and here, you simply take the wire from there and connect it to connected electrically to somewhere on the chassis. Now, if you don't have an appropriate tender, it's usually possible with Hornby Dublo 2-rail to fit the standard 3-rail pickup, and to do that you need to remove the 2-rail pickup, which looks something like this, and in its place you can fit that. Now, the additional problem is that it needs to pick up from both sets of wheels to run properly on a Hornby Dublo 3-rail layout. So what I've done on here, and I don't know if you can see it, is on the insulated side, which has an insulating bush, I've scraped away a little bit of the bush and I've used some of this conductive silver paint. This used to be sold by car accessory shops and the like for repairing heated rear windows which had developed a fault in one of the tracks. It's very expensive, but you only need a little and it works really well. In the case of the Triang locomotives, what I've done is to make a pickup by using a length of copper clad sleeper here, which I've glued to the insulated base, or it's Paxlin I think it is, the insulated base here of the motor housing, and then I've soldered onto that little strips of phosphor bronze with a suitable sort of skate on the end, so that can then push down on the track. And as far as these two wheels are concerned, what I've done is to take the wire from the pickups here and simply connect that to chassis so that it picks up the return from both wheels on here. In the case of this particular locomotive, this distance isn't long enough to bridge the gap between on the insulated section with the diamond crossings, so what I've done is to add an extra skate on the back here which picks up off the running rail, and that then ensures good electrical continuity. As far as the overhead operation of the Triang locomotives is concerned, what I've done is simply to connect these two wheels together electrically so they pick up from the track, and to just pick up from the overhead catenary. So the Triang double-ended electric locomotive and the steeple clad locomotive will only work from the overhead catenary. Right, now here's a later model from the Hornby Railways period. It's a class 29 and it looks quite pretty, but the hauling power I found is a bit limited. an early Duchess of Montrose comes through the tunnel and pulls into the station. And now the Triang Wrenn model, City of London, comes through the tunnel after having pulled out of the station. Now here's the same train with a Hornby Railways period, class 47 in charge, the brush type 4.